Welcome to the HubFizz Live Show, where you can get ideas about how to grow your eco-conscious business. And today I'm joined by Fran Cognetti of The Art of Being You, who is a mindful facilitator, neuro linguistics practitioner, master practitioner, and a well-being coach. And today we're talking about the business of listening. For those of you who are tuning into the live show, welcome. Please do post your questions in the comment section. The show is only 10 minutes, just a bite-sized chunk, tea break. So we do try to keep that. If we have time to answer any questions live, we will. Otherwise, both Fran and I will jump on to the comments afterwards and answer any questions that you have. So welcome, Fran. Thanks so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for the invitation. It's great. Although I'm always a little bit adverse to a bit of techie stuff, but it's becoming a lot more familiar with me, and I do feel slightly more comfortable with it, so it's good to be here.
Fantastic. Good. And I know you've done some lives yourself, so you've got the gist of it. First question I want to ask you was, why do you think clients appreciate good listeners, and can they tell if you're not focused on them?
I think yes. I think when it comes to customers and clients, whoever you're aiming your business at, when having a conversation with somebody, people can usually tell whether you're drifting off somewhere just simply by your body language, the way you might be looking at your watch or whatever. And it's important to be able to engage with that person. It's important to be able for them to know that you are listening. It's first of all, it's respectful when you're inviting somebody into your own space to be able to give them your full attention, and also they're giving you a lot of information that's important to them to share, and it's important for you to understand. It builds rapport, and it's the foundations of your relationship, your business relationship. So listening is very important, and people can usually tell when you're not listening.
Yeah. So can you maybe then sort of share any ideas of why you think people don't listen well?
Well, we're human beings and our minds wander, so that's probably one of the first things where we get distracted. It's distractions often that will take our mind away from listening. And the distractions, the inner distractions that we have, can be caused by many things. One of the things in business is our stress levels. When we become stressed, our minds will be wandering into the future, about the meetings that might be coming up. They might be wandering into our finances. We might be quite desperate to get a client on board, and rather than listening with what the client is telling us, we could be clutching on to different ways of talking, different ways of selling ourselves, rather than just sitting and being with the particular client and listening to exactly what is being said. So stress levels are often, those inner stress levels are distractions. And then we've got the environment that we're in. I mean, at the moment we're on, a lot of the time we are Zooming, or we're on a digital platform for the environment, so we can plan how we want our rooms to look, but we don't want to be in places where we can be distracted by the environment, or the person that we're talking to is distracted as well as as us. So busy rooms, things with a lot of things that can take us away visually, can be distractions. And the other thing that can be a distraction is when we're listening to people, what we're actually listening to can be emotive sometimes. So we can become overly emotionally involved with somebody else's narrative, which can again take us into our own thoughts and our own stories. And if we become heightened in any emotional sense, we can also, that can also affect the way in which we're listening to people and what's being said.
Yeah, I think it is a skill that takes some practice, to really sort of sit and listen without kind of jumping to conclusions and interjecting your own thoughts and feelings and emotions, just allowing someone to speak and really listening, because you want to hear what they've got to say and get it right, and then offer them, in business sort of offer them what they really need and are asking for, rather than what you think they need and your own opinions and that. And obviously there's a lot of distractions as well with notifications. If you've got your phones on, emails going on the side, just try and turn all of that off. So I guess sort of coming round to this question then is, how can from your sort of practice and mindfulness and techniques that you've got, how can you prepare yourself to be a better listener? What are some of the ideas or tools that people could use to really help them?
Well, entering into a meeting or a dialogue with somebody else and wanting to give your full attention to that person, one of the things that we need to attend to is ourselves primarily, having an awareness of how we actually feel before we enter into a dialogue with somebody else. So taking a few moments before we do this to settle within ourselves, become aware of perhaps how we are in our body. We might notice that we feel slightly nervous or anxious because our heart rate has increased, and we might notice that our hands are clammy. But rather than being worried about this and being even more anxious, it's acknowledging this is how you feel. And once you've acknowledged how you feel and you become connected to yourself in a physical sense, that you're actually embodying your body, it settles the body, it settles the mind, because nothing likes to be ignored. So one of the first things I would definitely say is just become aware of the fact that you might be feeling slightly nervous. I mean, I'm very much aware of myself sitting here, and my heart rate is slightly increased. I'm not exactly in my comfort zone, but I'm here and I'm with all of that. So with all of those feelings, because I've chosen to do that, and it's been my choice. So understanding that, and then when you're actually entering into your conversation with somebody, if it helps you to have a pen and paper to take notes, then just say, it's okay to take notes, because it's important for me to take down this information and I don't want to miss anything. And also to kind of allow people to be silent with pauses, so to be comfortable with a pause in a conversation. Often, historically, we are used to jumping in and filling that silence with more dialogue, usually unnecessary dialogue, because we're not used to sitting. We're not used to sitting with silence. But often, if we can just sit with a pause, with some silence, it just allows ideas, thoughts to surface that might not necessarily have had a chance to surface. So being comfortable with silence, and also just trying to be yourself as much as possible. And if you have got something that is playing on your mind, or you have to leave the room, or is to just be open and just be honest with somebody and kind of say, I'm really, I am really interested in what you're saying at the moment, but I have this issue that I just need to spend 2 minutes on, because I want to give you my full attention. So I'm just going to have to go and deal with that for 2 minutes so I can come back. Otherwise, I'm unable to give you my full attention because it's playing on my mind. So that honesty, that openness, and just recognizing.
I think that's really good advice. And if you've got any more that that you can impart with us, we do, and are unfortunately coming towards the end of the time now. It does go quickly. I told you 10 minutes. I just want to say a quick hi to some of the comments I've seen there, Christelle and Nikki. Thank you very much. We will jump in afterwards and answer your questions. And if you want to hear more, just please comment below. I will also put in details. You've got a Facebook group that you run, share details of your website and that as well. I know I've done some of your pause meditation sessions as well, which were brilliant. And next week I will be talking to Nancy Hine from True Horizons about understanding sustainability in business. So that will be an interesting one about sort of how to make your business a bit more sustainable and the things that kind of stop people from doing it. So that should go live in the next 24 hours on my page. So yeah, thank you so much, Fran, for joining us and for your insightful wisdom. Really, really good advice and information there to take away. And yeah, if people want to hear more, we can maybe get you back for another session at some time.
That'd be great. But thank you for the invite. And for everybody out there, be well, be safe, and be as present as you can.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, everyone.